again in the past, which I don't talk about these people anymore. But then you literally make 50 million videos talking about how they're wrong and you're right. Like, leave it be. They didn't even outright mention your name. Like, nobody name dropped you. Don't take it so personal. I take things personally because it's directed towards me. I know when people are directing things towards me because they mentioned my name. Hello. They're talking about locals being bullied, and you're over here making it about yourself. I'm not a bully. This video made me feel like I'm a bully because they said I'm a bully. You know, this video, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's so annoying. Like, hello? Oh, I feel personally attacked because they said people are bullying locals. I'm not bullying anyone, even though I have a Reddit bullying someone. Let's be for real. I shared a video of this lady walking through her house because I thought it was okay to do so. Oh, let's share her dad's police records because we think it's okay to do so. It's my information to share. Oh, we're sharing this information, but you're sharing this information. You're the one that puts your business out there, not us. We're not the ones who are sending people to go take photos. Here, let me pay you $500 to take a photo of her sleeping in a car. If you do that for me, I will pay you. Oh, let's put her dad's police record. We didn't put his police record out there. You did. Or, like, we didn't put your address out there. You did. But, you know, let's just act like we didn't dox you. Even though it's recorded who did what. Like, my live streams are screen recorded. I never said where I was at. Even from the time that you said I said where I was at, I can just pull that up, show it to the police, and show that I never doxed myself. You can't lie. Oh, you know what? Shut up. SBUY or whatever you say. Shut your BA up. Like, yeah, let's tell her that. Let's just tell her that because, you know, telling someone to shut up clearly means that we're not wrong. When you tell someone to shut up, then it's true, because why are you telling someone to stop talking? If you don't like what they're saying, you could leave. So if someone's telling the truth, that's why you want them to be quiet, because you hate hearing the truth, right? It hurts you. That's crazy. Or else you wouldn't say that. SYBAU, that's what it is. That lady did not confront my dad and a girl. I'm considering, why would you send your daughter to a place? She took advantage of the situation to film the inside. She was not going because of some stupid love letter. She was going into our apartment to film what it looked like. Especially because why are you walking up to my door filming already? This is not an episode of Cheaters. This is not an episode of MTV Cribs. If you're walking up to someone's place filming, obviously it's for clout. Why would you want to admit some man with mental illness is writing you love letters? That is the weirdest thing. You will never. That's like someone saying, oh, guess what? John Wayne Gacy wrote me love letters from prison. He was writing me love letters from prison. Like, why would you even admit something like that? That's weird. You're walking up to someone's place filming them. Why release it now? Why not release it then? She sat on this video for how long? Oh, now that everyone's dogpiling on me, she wants to do it too. Why didn't she release it back then instead of now? That's like the same people that tried to lie on Michael Jackson to make money off of him. Now that he passed away and want to take advantage because he can't defend himself. Oh yeah, my dad is sick and in jail, so now because he's not on his medication, he can't defend himself. He can't say anything about this woman because he's not well. She's taking clearly advantage of someone who's not mentally stable enough to defend himself. That's weird. I don't even know this chick, and I don't care to know this chick. The only thing that I want people to know, the only thing that I want them to know is her job to know that she's recording people and harassing them. I mean, let's see if her job thinks so. She's probably going to get fired. I mean, she shouldn't have posted that on the internet. maybe not me, but maybe someone might happen to send that to her job and let her job know. I don't have to do it, so I mean, hey, I'm just saying. Gee, I don't know. We're trying to get a hold of him. GoFundMe's trying to get a hold of him, so I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know. It doesn't matter if I let her in. I let her in because there were people that was coming to the door. First of all, my dad, when he's well, he makes friends with the neighbors. The neighbors come over to ask for things or, to have conversations. I didn't let her in because I wanted to, considering the fact I'm trying to remember why this lady came over, because I know there was one lady whose kid was selling chocolates. I know that my dad makes friends with the neighbors because sometimes the neighbors will take him to get cigarettes or they let him borrow money, etc., etc. Doesn't matter if I let her in, right? When you're acting like you're on your phone and acting like you're not filming, I cannot stand there and accuse you of filming me without my knowledge. Yeah, it is. Well, technically, it's not a public place when she filmed, so there's that. And technically, I did not know I was being recorded. I did not know that video exists until it was posted. So to say I let her in, yeah, I let her in, but I did not know I was being recorded. So, you can say that all you want, but I'm trying to remember why she went over to my house. And if I remember, I know it's not because of some love letter. They have a convertible Volkswagen. Was that a cabrio? My brother had a cabrio. I like the cabrio, the convertible cabrio. No, it was not. That's a lie. She did not. Why are you going to go confront someone at their door and film them over a love letter? Are you okay? Are you okay? Is there something wrong with you? Why would you go to someone and confront them over a love letter? You're just as delusional as she is. You're just as mental as she is if you go confront someone over a love letter. If you think that's why she went over there, then you're just as delusional as she is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're not worried about anything when they're showing up to someone's apartment filming. I'm glad I got away from that place. Maybe I should write a review on those apartments and be like, there's people that stalks you and takes videos of you. And then post that video and then the video of the other neighbor and say, well, look out for your neighbors because they literally record people. Watch out for this woman. She likes to record people without their knowledge. I mean, I got the proof. It's literally a video of her filming. Like, it's there. I don't record people without their knowledge. Like, I just parked there and then he just left. He didn't even get down. Are you... I didn't hand her a love letter. Oh, actually, I do know why that lady was there. And no, it was not a love letter. Actually, that was one of the people he was borrowing money from for cigarettes because he didn't have cigarette money. So no, I didn't hand her another love letter. I actually handed her a letter that says he was asking her to, like, that he was asking her for money for cigarettes, which I hated because he would always send me to ask the neighbor for money for cigarettes. That's why she was there. Now you reminded me why. Because he was writing, or unless it was, but I know that he writes not letters, but like notes to people to borrow money from them for cigarettes. And I literally told him that I don't want to do it, but when you tell someone that has mental illness you're not going to do something, he gets mad, especially when he wants his cigarettes. He needs his cigarettes. No, it's not a lie, because my dad is a really bad smoker. He smokes 200 cigarettes a day. That is not a lie. My dad is very much addicted to cigarettes. He quit for like almost 24 hours and then went back to smoking. He's tried to quit cold turkey and he hasn't. So, yeah. Enabling? Well, it's not enabling when I get told get the F out or get cigarettes. He threatens me a lot of the time. And it's not like to hurt me, but basically he'll tell me to get out if I don't get him cigarettes. Like, when you live with someone with bipolar, you don't know what it's like, especially you can tell them no, but it's either get out. Like, he said if I didn't believe in God, I had to get out. We had to hear him rant about the government. We had to hear him rant about religion. My dad was a very bad smoker, and yeah, he's very bad. He was smoking like 200 cigarettes a day. My mom was making the cigarettes. I should know. Almost. He smoked like 2 packs of cigarettes, which is like 20 cigarettes. A pack of cigarettes has 10 in it. I literally had to go with change. He would collect change. He would ask my brother, because my brother had a lot of change. He would even take change from my brother's room, and he would go and he would get cigarettes. He would take the TV that my brother won and pawn it for cigarettes. He literally sold my Xbox 360 for cigarettes. My brother said he had no choice because my dad forced him to, even though it was my system that my brother had given me, which is gone, you know. There are things that you just can't control with someone with bipolar. That's like telling someone that's in an abusive relationship, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just get out? It's not that easy as people think it is. It had nothing to do with love letters, like she wants to lie. It has everything to do with cigarettes. And you could ask any one of the neighbors there. He was always asking the neighbors to borrow money for cigarettes, or always asking for cigarettes, or asking them to take him to get cigarettes. I had to walk with a TV. I had to carry a TV from where I lived all the way to this pawn shop, which was like maybe a little less than a block away, but it was a pretty far walk. And I had to walk carrying this TV to pawn it just so he can have some cigarettes. Yes, I did. And when I was younger, I was like 8. I had barely graduated high school, and we lived in this house. I had holes in my shoes because, you know, at that time we couldn't really afford anything, so my shoes wore out so bad there were holes that I had to walk. I got stickers in my foot because I had to walk. The gas station wasn't even close to where I lived, because we lived way on the west side in the middle of nowhere. You know where Trisco Heritage is? And then there's like that gas station that's like right next to that cemetery. Anyone who lives in Albuquerque will know what cemetery I'm talking about. There's a little cemetery, and then there's some houses, and then there's a gas station there. I had to walk from there all the way to the new houses just to get him cigarettes with holes in my shoes, getting stickers in my feet, because he told me I had to. And this was at night sometimes. Like, I didn't have a matter or say in things. Like, I was 8. I had just barely graduated high school. Like, I literally had to walk and carry this TV because I said I wouldn't. I told him no, but then I said, you go do it. And then it came to a point where he would go himself, but then he didn't want to. So it was either me, it was either my mom, or it was either my brother. And when they both said no, he said, you have to do it. He would force me when they said they wouldn't. I was the one that was made forced, because if not, you know, he would say, well, get out. I'll be like, all right, I'll get out. I'll leave. I didn't have anywhere to go, but I'll get out. And even then, I would be like, F it, I have to do it, because there's no way I'm going to be out in the streets with no place to go. That's what it's like living with someone with mental illness, because one day their mood snaps. My dad was bipolar schizophrenic. That's the worst kind of bipolar you can have. Schizophrenic people do not like the government. They do not like the law. They do not like anything because they think, how do I say, schizophrenic people are the types of people who everything, like, he thought the government was poisoning his medication. They're paranoid all the time. They think someone's out to get them all the time, whether it's the government or the police. Because people thought it was funny to send the police. Like, you need to read books about people with bipolar before you start speaking about mental illness. Because mental illness is very much, it's something to not make fun of. There's lots of people that are celebrities, that are content creators that struggle with mental illness. It's not a joke or something that people should take lightly. Like, people don't know what it's like living with someone like that. One day he's happy, the next day he snapped. I was going to the BTS concert and he snapped so badly that I had to let my stuff go to the trash because I didn't want to deal with it. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna lose money on a bus ticket or miss out on going to see BTS because he's throwing my sewing machine away. My sewing machine went to the trash. My stuff was going to the trash. He said my stuff, my mom's stuff, and my brother's stuff was trash, but his stuff was not trash. He got into a manic episode, and there went my stuff. People don't understand just what it's like to deal with someone like that and then come back. And mind you, I had to come back to him being crazy, not on his medication, when I got out of the hospital. Yeah, I was lonely in the hospital for a whole week. I was there because people couldn't come visit me. My brother, his ex, and my mom went to visit me one day, and I didn't feel lonely. You know, I had a good view because I could see the mountains from where I was at in my hospital room. But then I was kind of relieved because I didn't have to deal with my dad, and I was in the hospital. I was like, great, I'm glad I'm here. I don't have to deal with that, you know? And then come home to him being horrible, hearing him holler. You could even ask, like, the neighbor that said I was weird for not saying hi to him, he called the cops because my dad was hollering. Like, the neighbors know. And before, when he was well, he had made friends with the neighbors and some of them to ask them for money for cigarettes. My dad has a very bad smoking addiction. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, hey, for her to literally turn that situation into like a love letter is so weird over some cigarettes. Like, you have to be some kind of something's wrong with you if you interpret that as a love letter. That's the only thing I could think of, because whenever my dad writes something to someone or writes a note, it's usually for cigarettes. That's usually what it is. My dad's always been like that. He has this, he smokes like he'll smoke like 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He could smoke, my grandma used to buy him cartons of cigarettes it's like the native place where they have a trailer and they sell the cigarettes and they sell them by the carton, because my dad used to take my grandma to buy her cartons of cigarettes because she would buy them by the carton. My grandma was smoking since she was 13. That's why she had COPD or something like that. She had to quit. My grandma was smoking since she was 13. So my dad would take her to get cartons of cigarettes, and because he would take her, my grandma would be like, I'll buy you a carton because you drove me this way for a carton of cigarettes. Then she would always take us out to eat all the time. I remember that. My grandma always took us to Golden Corral or to A&W. I really miss that sometimes, you know. I miss my grandma a lot. I wish she was still here. She was a good lady. A very kind, very nice, generous lady. I didn't steal rings off of my grandmother. Actually, let's address that since my uncle wants to lie. So that day my grandmother was dying, he was fighting my uncle for a car part. Let's talk about that. My grandmother went home for hospice because she wanted to die in home. And she was slowly breathing, so she couldn't talk anymore. She was dying, which is what they call the death moan, right? In the hospital. Sorry, I got distracted. Someone was walking. So anyways, the coroner came. The coroners came to pick her up because we were outside talking to my cousin, and my brother came out and said, Grandma died. Grandma's dead. And we were outside talking to my cousin because he got into it with his dad. And my mom was telling him, like, yeah, don't listen to your dad. Your dad's an a-hole, this and that. And my cousin was so pissed off that he said, you know what, I'm not going to deal with my dad. I'm leaving. So he left. And when he was leaving, my mom went to go see him off. You know, basically, like, she went to go talk to him before he left. And my brother comes out and says, Grandma's dead. So we're waiting for the coroner, right? We're waiting for the coroner to come. Oh, this is the funniest thing I gotta tell you because I laughed when my mom said this. So anyways, the coroner came and they said she had rings on, right? Mind you, these rings are not expensive because the expensive jewelry was stolen by my cousin for weed. So if she had any jewelry that was expensive, it literally was stolen by my cousin for weed. In the will, which we have the will, it's in storage, it says that I am supposed to get all of the jewelry, that the jewelry is supposed to go to me, because when I would go to my grandma's house, I would look through the jewelry and just look at her jewelry. I didn't take anything, right? So anyways, I looked at I would look at her jewelry, and she knew I loved jewelry, so she said when she died I would get all of her jewelry. That's in the will. I haven't even gotten any jewelry because it's not even worth it, because it's not expensive jewelry. And yeah, I would like to, but I'm not gonna argue or fight with my uncle for things. I can go take stuff right now if I wanted to. There's stuff we still haven't get that's in the will, and there's nothing he can do about it, because I can show up with the police and show this will and be like, I need to get this stuff. For him to say that I took jewelry off my grandma, that was not the case. The coroner came. So then they said, do you guys want anything? So I said, do you want something? His daughter, I told his daughter because she was there. I said, do you want grandma's rings? I offered it to her first. She said no. So me and my mom, because they said, do you want it? And he said, go ahead, take it. My uncle even said, go ahead, you can have it. Because I said, I offered them first. I didn't want to be rude. I didn't, because you know. So then, yes, they gave us the jewelry. The coroner even took the jewelry off of her. Even if I have to contact the coroner, because I know who came and picked her up. Even if I have to have them tell you he's lying, because I have witnesses. They're the ones that literally took the jewelry off of her and gave it to me. I did not steal jewelry off my grandmother. First of all, I'm a germaphobe. Second of all, I would be too horrified to even touch a dead body, even though it's a relative of mine's. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that, considering the fact the coroner is right there. So anyways, they asked us that, then they took the rings off of her and they gave it to us, which the rings are probably somewhere in storage. They're not even worth much. So for him to be arguing about jewelry that's not even expensive is crazy. But yeah, I was given jewelry by the coroner. So I accepted it because it's my grandmother. She's dying. I wanted something from her. Thank you for the gifts. Hey, Mary. I see you. Anyways, what do you mean I accepted something from my grandmother? Of course. My grandmother's dead. She died. I was watching her die. What do you mean? If I didn't accept the jewelry, then I would have been a horrible person for not accepting that. That's my grandmother. Am I not supposed to accept something from her? She's dead. She would have wanted me to have that jewelry. Since he wants to run his mouth, she never wanted his wife in that house that she's in. She says she never wanted to see that woman in her house, and she's in her house. Since he wants to talk about taking things that are not his, he took a house that is not his.